value of supply. It's so far what you have discussed in the second unit is value of supply only, computation of the value of supply. But in the third unit also in the syllabus it has been mentioned as time and value of supply. Already it covers everything in the second chapter, value of supply, how to compute and levy of the GST, how to compute the GST. GST is we understood that if it's 28% IGST, and if the percentage is there, so how much it goes to central and state. If it's only intra-state, okay, then it is only state tax you're going to take. So it's clearly mentions that intrastate, interstate, interstatement integrated, and other will be half of the GST will go to the central and half will go to the state. Okay, so these are all things we understood, because why it is very important is that first we need to find out the value, because unless we are clear with the value of the transaction, so then we cannot come. What is on what price you are going to compute the GST? Because you might be having a GST percent rate, but that we need to calculate now. So that's the reason value we need to find out. Finding a value. That's the reason we started learning from the section 15 to rules 27, all those till rule 35. Why does we discuss is that these are the rules to derive the price. Okay, to derive at the value of the supply. The supplier supplies of goods or services. So what is the value of it? How you are going to derive? So these are all computation we did. We looked at a lot of problems and solutions. So that covers everything. And here, even though I mentioned it's a value of supply I mentioned in that, we are not going to cover that because already it's covered in the second unit. In this unit, we are going to cover time of supply and the place of supply. Time of supply and the place of supply. These two topics we are going to cover. If any problems are there, we are going to cover on time and place of supply. Okay, so let's go ahead with this. Okay, so what is the time of supply? You know, it says that it's a date on which the charging event has occurred. It's a date on which the charging event. So charging event is nothing but you are going to on which you are going to charge the GST. Okay, as a result, the rate of CGST or SGST or IGST or Union Territory GST will be decided in accordance with the time of supply. Previous chapter value we calculated, we found out, we learned about value of supply, and this chapter time, time is very important because it's a date. On which date we are going to consider? Okay, which date will be we are going to consider for the charging the GST, and that is very important because the time of supply is important because you have to every registered supplier or a dealer need to file the GST. So it's a monthly GST, quarterly GST, and annual GST is there. Okay, summarize. So all this, so there are dates. So this month, what are the transaction happened? Which are I need to consider while filing my GST returns. While I file my GST returns, so which are the so that's the reason it's very important that the date is very important. So it's like on which you are going to see the dates might differ. We call it as invoice, tax invoice. Okay, it's based. It's like we are going to determine the time of supply. So here, when the payment due date is is fixed, when you are supplied the goods, when you are issued the invoice. So it might vary. So don't consider that when I sold the product on that day only I gave the bill. And then nothing like that. You must have paid sometime advance payment. You must have done. Some cases you must have issued the tax invoice at the earlier itself before supplying the goods, and you must have issued the invoice at the time of receipt of the goods. Okay, when the recipient has received the goods. So a lot of different dates are there. So we have to compare all these dates and we have to say that which is the date I need to consider. That means I am finding out the time of supply. What is the time? What is the date of supply? There are 2-3 dates are there in this particular transaction which has happened when between the seller or supplier to the recipient. So what is the date the supplier has to consider? Okay, is a date of event or a date of occurrence. Okay, for the GST purpose. So this is what we are going to learn in the time of supply. So because in the time of supply we have to, because before we go ahead we need to understand the section 31 of the GST, which talks about the invoice, because most important without invoice. Let's discuss like what is tax invoice or GST invoice. Okay, so it says that it's a bill or a legal document. Okay, so tax invoice or a GST invoice is a bill or a legal document containing a list of goods and services provided by the GST registered seller or dealer to the buyer or the purchaser along with the amount due for payment. Okay, what it says that this is a legal, binding legal bill. Okay, which includes list of goods or services which the seller or the registered dealer has given to the buyer or the purchaser along with the amount mentioned in it. So what is the amount due from the purchaser or the recipient? What is the money he has to pay to me? If the purchaser is not at the consumer, because many cases the purchaser may not be the end user of the product. Okay, because some other person must have taken it in between and he is going to later sell it. Okay, so consumer may not be the end user. Then the seller needs to issue the tax invoice. Okay, if it is a final, because usually tax invoice issued to those like who are not the final consumers. Example, supplier supplied, but the person who is purchasing the goods is not the final customer. Because many cases you purchase goods and that person will buy, the recipient will buy, and he will once again might sell it. It's a resale. It's in the continuous process in the business. So he wants to resell it once again. He might be, example, you are selling to the retailer. Retailer will sell it at the later to the consumer. So before that, if you're selling to the retailer, then the seller needs to issue the tax invoice. If the goods or services are sold to the consumer, then the seller needs to issue the retail invoice. So that is the difference. You should be clear. So tax invoice and the retail invoice, because here what you are going to do is sell it to the another person. Okay, manufacturers might be selling to the wholesaler. Okay, wholesaler might be selling to the retailer. Retailer will be selling to the final consumer. So when somebody is selling to the final consumer, there arises a retail invoice. Okay, so tax invoices are not a receipt. They say that, next paragraph you could see, tax invoices are not receipt. They are both different documents. Invoice is request made by the seller for the payment, the sale of goods or services to the consumer. So it's like an invoice is a request made. Okay, I'm issuing a your bill, tax invoice. I'm going to where everything details, everything, your GST number, everything is mentioned there, and you are issuing to make the payment. To the purchaser, you are asking like you make the payment with all the quantity, everything. You are asking. So it will have prices, credits, discounts, taxes, and total amount, everything. So all the information available in that. Okay, so what is the price? How many quantities? Multiply with the price. Okay, whether you are given any cost, other costs, are there any tax? Your credit facility you are given, or the discounts you are given, any taxes you are charged, GST, everything will be there. And finally, the total amount is derived. So receipt is a proof document, which shows that payment has been made. It is a proof of ownership and list of goods or services, prices, credits, discount, taxes, total amount paid, and payment method. Okay, so receipt is one more. See, you can see that receipt is something which is a proof of document which shows that I've done the payment has been made. When the payment has been made, then that receipt is issued. So there is one invoice goes at the beginning of the supply of the goods, and later when the purchaser makes a payment to the supplier, then supplier will issue the receipt. Receipt means which is okay, payment received with the details of the goods or services given, its prices, taxes, discounts given, every information. Okay, and the total amount paid or a payment method. So how the payment is received and what is the payment method? Okay, what is the total payment received? So and what is the payment method, through or check or through the online transfer? What are all the information? So that's why please be clear with what is tax invoice and what is receipt. Okay, so here, so what is the importance of tax invoice under the GST regime? So how important is the tax invoice? So it supports as a registered, support a registered person claim for the GST deduction input tax incurred on his or her standard rated purchases. Okay, so here what happens, like this tax invoice will help, okay, to get the input tax credit, because you get that billing and you have made the payment for that. Okay, tax invoice, example, you purchase and you have made the payment. When you made the payment, you also have to get the input tax credit. You have to that benefit you can take it only the remaining difference amount. Okay, need to be filed. You have to pay to the GST, to the government. Okay, so that is a, you, for that purpose you require a tax invoice. Then trigger the time of supply, as the invoice date will determine when the GST is to be accounted for the registered person on the supply of the goods or services. So what it says that triggering means it shows on which date the invoice is made, because to determine the date of invoice, to determine the date of transaction, because that is the date is required. Now, unless you have a date, how can you file the returns? Okay, on which month you are going to file the returns? On which, for which month you are going to consider that supply? So that will be difficult. That's the reason when you issue the tax invoice, so anyhow in that bill date will be there when the date you have written. So that date is will be helpful. Okay, so that's the reason it's been the accounting on invoices basis. So it's required for a documentation purpose, accounting purpose. So where the date is will determine when the GST need to be accountable by the registered person. Next, determining which supplies made by him or her should be included in the particular taxable period. So it supports the previous discussion. It says that because of tax invoice, it's easy to find out what are the supplies he made or services he has sold, supplied, is included to the particular period. So, example, I supplied particular goods in the month of April. So, everything. So, the invoice is issued. So, based on that, it's clear that April month it belongs to the particular April month. Okay, if I issued for the bill next month, even though I supplied the goods this month, but I issued the in-tax invoice next month, something you have, then that becomes the next month. Okay, not this month. So that's the reason. So it's useful. Then determine when he may claim his input tax based on the tax invoice received from his supplier. So for it will help the recipient to understand like when he is eligible for to get the input tax benefit. Okay, because he has received the bill. Based on that, it is clear for him by which period he can claim the input tax credit. Okay, so determine when he may claim his input tax based on the tax invoice received from his supplier. Okay, so that will help. Then it is compulsory to mention the GSTIN of the supplier in the tax invoice along with the serial number which is unique for that financial year. So it says that GSTN number should be there in any invoice issue. The GSTN number, okay, GST registration number, identification number, GST identification number should be there, because to get the input tax credit, everything, to map it anytime you want to find out by using that GST, so it's easy to find the data. So it's very important, and it's mandatory, compulsorily. GST number should be mentioned in the bill, invoice bill, okay, along with the serial number, because every year for unique, which is unique for that financial year. So there is serial number which is also been mentioned, which is maintained for the particular financial year. Okay, and that also need to be maintained. Okay, and GST bill, GST bill will be there, for the financial year. Bill serial number will be there, but GSTN number, okay, the GST identification number given to the particular supply. So all those details should be reflected in the printed in the bill. A GST tax invoice is an essential document for the recipient to avail the input tax credit. So it's very important for the even recipient, not only supplier, because supplier also many cases he purchases from other. So he is also supposed to get the input tax credit. Even the recipient, it's a acts as a proof. It acts as a document. Okay, where he can avail with the proof of this, he can avail the input tax credit. Otherwise, he will lose that. That's the reason is required. A registered person cannot avail ITC unless he has a tax invoice or a debit note. So clear, it is clear what he says. You are a registered person, but you cannot avail the input tax credit benefit unless you have tax invoice or a debit note. Okay, so unless you have this, forget that you are going to get the input, because there is no bill, there is no proof, okay, that you have paid the GST, and to get that input tax rate, you require show the bill. Okay, because GST will department will consider, okay, uh, where is that bill, because everything need to be recorded, everything is mapped, that. Okay, GST network we studied, this is a system or a software where it's all it is connected, so every data need to be recorded, no, everything you need to record, everything is then only you could be able to get that. So it's very important to have a tax invoice. Without that, you know, you are not able to, without the tax invoice, it is not able to get the ITC. ITC means input tax credit. So these are the importance, because why? Because without tax invoice, nothing could be done. You required. This is the main legal document. Okay, so we'll move on. Okay, this talks about, these are the main ones. This whole time of supply is depending on these sections. Okay, you look at the section 12 and section 13 of the central GST. Okay, so please look at on the left side what you could able to see, the time of supply of goods. And section 12, all this deals with the goods, supply of goods. And section 13 deals with the supply of, time of supply of services. Okay, goods and services. So all section 12, then you look, so section 12, subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all goods related. Time of supply. You are finding out the time of supply with related to the goods. Section 13, 1, 2, 3, subsection of 4, 5, 6 is all related to the time of supply of services. Okay. So look at that first one, section 12, subsection 1. The liability to pay tax on goods shall arise at the time of supply as determined in accordance with the provisions of this section. See, we are going to elaborate all separately. We are going to elaborate section 12. Okay, and even section 13 in the coming slides. So it says that it's a liability to pay tax on goods shall arise at the time of supply of the service, supply of the goods, time of supply. So your taxability, a liability to pay tax arises when that transaction happens, on which day that happens. So the date is important. Okay, section 12 subsection 2, you should see time of supply of goods under forward charge. Forward charge means normal one. Forward means it's like normal, transaction. Supplier is selling to the recipient, so that's a normal considered as a forward charge. Okay, where supplier is making the payment of GST, is done. Okay, so supplier, everybody, it's properly the forward normal transaction, that is. Then section 13 you could see, 12 subsection 3 you could see time of supply of goods under reverse charge. Reverse charge, you know that, agree? I hope we discussed in the first unit. Reverse second unit we discussed in the second unit. Reverse charge. What is reverse charge? If you remember, anybody?
Tax.
Hmm? Anyone can tell, no problem. Or others also many.
Tax is paid by recipient.
Tax is paid by the recipient. Agree? Yeah, correct. So it's like a reverse. Usually, what happens? Who has issued the GST bill? Usually he will. Yeah. Here the reverse. It's a reverse of the forward charge. Okay, it's a opposite of the forward charge. So section 12, subsection 3 deals with that. Okay, where you are going to find out the time of supply. Next, you could say time of supply in case of supply of vouchers. Some cases, vouchers you issue. So that section deals with that. And next is comes section 5, residual, residuary clause, where the time of supply cannot be determined under section 2, 4, all those things. Subsection 4. Okay, so you could see subsection 2. Okay, and subsection 4 of section 12. If you are unable to find out the time of supply in the above two, section 12 in the forward as well as the vouchers, although up to there, hmm? 12 to 2, 3 and 4, up to over there, you cannot find the time of supply, then section 12 subsection 5 will be applicable. Then you look at 12 section 6, the time of supply to the extent it relates to an addition in the value of supply by way of interest, late fee or penalty, or for delayed payment or any consideration shall be the date on which the supplier receives such additional in value. In certain cases, what happens? There are penalties, there might be delay, and there might be you have to pay interest for delay payment, and a lot of these things are there. In those cases, if the consideration shall be the date on which the supplier receives such additional value. So that date, if on which date he has received all those additional penalty, all those things, that is considered. So that deals with the section 12. Okay, on the right side you look at similar. The what is the rules I've read about in the 12 section 12, similar, but it applies to services. You look at the liability to pay tax on services shall arise at the time of supply as determined in accordance with the provisions of this section. Same thing, same explanation, but here left side we studied about the goods, the right side we are discussing about the services. Next section you look at time of supply of service under forward charge, time of supply of service under reverse charge, time of supply in case of supply vouchers, all same. Okay, but only thing is section 13 deals with the services, section 12 deals with the goods. Okay, so this you have to remember because these are the in detail we are going to explain. Okay, now you look at the section 12 subsection 2 of the GST. Okay, so you look at that time of supply of goods. Okay, because we have to be clear, section 12 subsection 2 of the Central GST Act, where turnover is more than 1.5 crores. Okay, please remember turnover is more than 1.5, 1 crore 50 lakhs and above. The turnover, it's related to goods. Time of supply of goods under section 2 subsection 12 subsection 2 says about where the turnover is more than 1.5 crores. Look at that. Supply involves movement of goods. Okay, whether the supplier supplied the goods, whether the movement, yeah, it's a movement of goods. Yes. If it is no, then what is the time of supply is being given there? Time of supply is invoice issued before or at the time of delivery of goods or while making goods available to the recipient, whichever is early. So that is considered. So what you could see there, what is the time of supply? Time of supply is equal to invoice issued before, either invoice issued before or at the time of delivery, at the time of delivery of the goods or while making the goods available to the recipient. So that says that whichever is early out of this, the time of supply we have to consider. Like example, invoice you must have issued before he supplied the goods, before only has raised the invoice. Okay, or at the time of you have delivering the goods, you are delivering the goods, or you are made it available to the recipient. So the day on which the recipient is received, made it available or he received, so that date. So out of this, which is the earliest one is considered. Okay, now turnover is 1.5 crores. Supply of supply involves movement of goods. If yes, okay. On the left side, you look at the on the flow chart. No, what is the rule? On the yes, if it is yes, okay, movement of goods is there, and the turnover is more than 1.5 crore. So time of supply equals to invoice issued before or at the time of removal of goods for supply of the recipient, whichever is early. Okay, so out of this, what they say, invoice issued before the supply of the goods, either that or at the time of removal when the goods have been removed and it has been sent for supply to the recipient. So whichever out of these 2 days, which was earlier, need to be considered. So it's I mentioned through the same thing in this form I mentioned. Earliest of the following. So what we discussed in the previous here now, same is a simplification. Earliest of the following: date of issue of the invoice with respect to the supply, or the last date on which is required to issue the invoice. Next, date of receipt of payment with respect to the supply. So here, out of these 2, whichever is early, but on the left side you look at date of issue of the invoice with respect to the supply. So when did you issue the invoice? Example, your supplier is acquiring the particular goods. So when did you raise the invoice, issue the invoice? That date, or the last date on which he is required to issue, which is the last maximum date which is specified by which you should have issued. Okay, so that. Okay, so what is the date you have fixed? Okay, so to issue, you have to consider that the last date on which he required to issue, because if you have supplied the goods, that day he has to issue only. Okay, then on the right you could see that date of receipt of payment with respect to the supply. One more date is when, okay, when the supplier received the money. Date of receipt of payment with respect to the supply. The date on which the supplier received the money from the purchaser. Okay, then out of these 2 you have to select, and on the right one more, compare between 2 earliest, whichever is the earliest. Okay, whichever out of these dates, which is the first date, earliest date. you have to consider is the date of, or we consider the time of supply. Is the date or that is the time of supply of goods. Say this might for you like, so the rules might lose look like confusing. Okay, that's the reason I made it. Either you refer this or simplify. You just refer this. Okay, preferably this is better. Simplified. Okay, it's a simplified version. I have given, see, in this my PPTs, I have mentioned flowchart as well as this is simplified flowchart, and once again summarized in a theoretical, with the write up summarized in the latest, after all I cover, and in the later stage that PPTs are there for understanding. Same, it talks about all three this concept, same only. But please pick whichever you feel comfortable. Okay, I recommend please read. You have to at least twice or thrice you have to read this with a lot of concentration, because this is a rule. Because this is rule you have to remember, and when you remember the rule only, then only you could able to, if some is asked related to this, then you are able to answer, solve. So please remember, section 12 deals with goods, section 13 deals with the service. Okay, in the section 12, so what is the time of supply is considered. So earliest of the this following. Okay, okay, this one you look at. Goods by small taxpayers having aggregate annual turnover up to 1.5 crores or less. So what we studied here now, 1.5 crores or more, correct? So now we are dealing with, okay, so the turnover where is, it is 1.5 crore or less. Okay, how to derive how to find out the time of supply of goods. So time of supply of goods, okay, here section 12 subsection 2 and clause A, you could see that. Supply of goods in the previous year less than the 1.5 crores. Okay, so if the goods supplied is less than the 1.5 crores, no, you are not supplied less than 5 crores. That means you are supplied more than 1.5 crores. In that case, what is the time of supply? Date of invoice or date of receipt of, okay, when the date of tax invoice is issued, the day on which the tax invoice is issued, or date of receipt of the payment. Okay, when the date of payment receipt, whichever is earlier, is considered. Then you look at the right side, supply of goods in the previous year is less than 1.5 crores. Yes. If yes, opted for composition scheme. Okay, opted for composition scheme. Yes. What is the rate? No. What is the rate? Anybody remembers what is composition scheme? We studied in the class, the previous chapter. Composition scheme. Anyone remembers? What is composition scheme? No one? Not even one? Anybody? Anybody? No? So I hope you remember it's based on the turnover. Somebody can have a flat rate of GST whose turnover is less than 1 crore. In some northeastern area, it changes to up to 75 lakhs turnover. You can go with a single rate of GST. You know that from 1 to 4%, less than 5. You remember flat 1%, 3%. We have discussed all those. Okay. So here, supply of goods is less than 1.5 crores. And have you opted for composition scheme? If the registered dealer is opted for composition scheme, yes, then this one only will apply. The date of supply, time of supply will be date of invoice or date of receipt. If the person, the registered person, has not opted for composition scheme, he has not opted for composition scheme, then the time of supply will be invoice issued before or at the time of removal of the goods for supply to the recipient. Okay, so here if somebody has not gone for a opted for a composition scheme, okay, so he has not opted, then in that case time of supply will be invoice issued before what is the invoice issued before, what is the invoice date, okay, or at the time of removal of the goods from the supply. You know, when you remove the goods for supply, that date. Okay, or if you issued before, okay, invoice date. Between these two, whichever is earliest will be considered. If you are opted for composition scheme, then date of invoice or date of receipt, whichever is early. So that will be considered. So please go through this because I have last 1 minute left. Okay, there are many more to study in this. Okay, next we are going to go with section 13 with related to services. So this is two clear differentiation between 1.5 crore plus supply in the previous year. This is less than 1.5 crore supply. Okay.